I'm feeling good today. Like I said, I feel excited. I feel like we have a lot of information that's going to be important. I think there are a lot of things that we talk about. One thing I know I talk about on the show is solutions. And when I think about making sure making sure history is recorded correctly, make sure history continues the right way, that requires intention. It requires conversation. It requires solutions. Um, this is weird. I feel like I can't even get. Okay,
you can go.
Live ready, so we're gonna go ahead and hop into it. But like I said, just to start with a basic, just introduce who you are and how you're doing today, and we'll go from there. We can start at my left and we'll start with my right.
Okay, well, good morning, everybody. I am Shantelle Patton, owner, founder, and CEO of That Brown Bag Minority Business Directory.
Okay, and they'll be on the other side.
Hi, good morning, everyone. I am Star Funderburg. I am here as the communications chairperson of Juneteenth of Buffalo Festival. Thank you so much for having me.
And I actually want to stay on that. Absolutely. Juneteenth. June is coming up quick, right?
Yes.
This year has been flying through. This year has been flying, and I'm young saying this. It feels like, when you get outside of school, I tell people all the time, when I was in school, in high school, every day was a day, right? You had a test and things were, when you get outside of school, months fly, weeks fly, and it feels like time is moving fast. But looking at June, time moves fast for a lot of us, right? It's been years for a lot of us. I want to start with this question right here. Can you go through some memories that you have for the Juneteenth parade? I know everybody has a story, everybody has a memory, because it was a big thing. It is a big thing. Can we go through one story, one memory you have of the Juneteenth parade and why it's important to you?
Oh, I have one that stands out tremendously, and that was being on the drill team for City Honors, the one and only year City Honors had a drill team.
Wow.
And we were blessed to be able to march in the parade. And I just remember the pride of stopping every few steps and just hitting those marks and then hearing the people on the side of the street. And just, that's something I'll carry with me because there's no other class from City Honors that can say that they were on the drill team. It was one and done. Grand opening, grand closing.
And it was when you were there, was it like the whole city was there? Was it a citywide event? Was there a deeper feeling? Like you said, there was a moment of pride. I'm walking down seeing people like me representing excellence all through the street. Can you go more in depth onto that specific part?
Juneteenth is, for Buffalo, is an opportunity for all points of the city to come together and just celebrate Blackness. The beauty that is Blackness, the beauty that is our liberation, because we didn't get the memo on July 4th. So it's an opportunity for us to really relish in who we are, where we come from, and our liberation. And it's a beautiful celebration. I think that the Juneteenth Committee does a wonderful job of telling that story and translating that year after year after year.
Absolutely. And thank you for sharing that, Miss. I know we are joined by our last guest, so I'm going to give you the two questions back to back. We're going to go ahead and finish this one right here from Miss Star. Can you tell us, you're involved with it, right? So it has to be significantly important to you. Can you give us a memory for yourself about Juneteenth that you can remember in your past?
Oh my goodness. The biggest memory for me is pretty much what happened every year, getting ready to go to Juneteenth and walking around and seeing everyone dressed amazingly in all their cultural garb. It was just amazing going to get all the shea butter, the coconut oils, the incense, everything, seeing all your community there, seeing family you may not have seen since the last family reunion. And essentially it is another family reunion for our whole community. So I love it. And that's what I look forward to. And that's why I really wanted to be a part.
Absolutely. And I know for myself, Juneteenth, when I kind of got a little older, it wasn't as big of a thing as it used to be. But just like Buffalo, I hear my mom and my grandma and uncles and aunts tell me like, yo, this used to be just, it was something special, something electric about it. And I think that it still is that, but we need to make sure that it stays electric. As we're joined by our last guest, for the viewers listening, can you just go over who you are, how you're doing today? And the question that we were talking about is a memory you have from Juneteenth.
Well, thank you so much for having me. Absolutely. I am Faustenia Morrow. I own the Monarch of Infinite Possibilities, and I am feeling excellent to be in the presence of Black excellence today. Woo! Brother Jim is like one of my favorites, and I have been listening to your show, and you are amazing.
Thank you.
So just to be here makes me excited. And for Juneteenth, oh my gosh. So I remember being a little girl and being in the marching band, and my marching band was in Juneteenth. This is when it went down East Ferry, and I used to play the flute. played a lot of instruments when I was younger. And I used to play the flute, and we were marching, and I was representing St. Columba School. And I just remember everybody being on the streets and cheering us on and walking. And I was little at that time, so I didn't think the walk was long. But what I remember is feeling proud and happy and seeing Black faces cheering me on. And I think that that is so important in our community, that we focus on uplifting each other. So that's why I'm glad to be here.
Absolutely. And I want to say thank you for reminding that. I want to just say proper respect to Jen in his absence. Thank you for having the show. You're on our mind. We hope you're having a good day, and we'll see you hopefully next week. We do have a caller who wants to join the conversation. Caller, you are on the air. Good morning.
Yes, good morning, everyone. This is Dr. Eva Doyle calling in.
Good morning.
Hello. Hi, Mother Doyle.
Yes, everybody calls me Mother Doyle, so that's okay. I just celebrated a birthday, so.
Happy born day, Queen.
But I wanted to call in because I have so many memories of Juneteenth. I used to attend when it was on Jefferson many years ago. And it would be so many people coming out on Jefferson Avenue, and they had to move it because of the overcrowding. I remember that. And also, when it was moved to the park, I was a vendor for Juneteenth for 30 plus years. And I used my vending table to educate people about Juneteenth, about history in general. So I just want to share that. And I have a lot of videos showing me and my family in our tent and talking to people. So I just wanted to share that. I love Juneteenth. In the parade. That was my first time being in the parade. And I have pictures of that. So you all have a good day. I just wanted to share those memories. And if you talk about Mother Doyle, you're talking about history. Thank you so
Yes,
much.
we are.
Thank you, Mother Doyle, and happy little belated birthday. You have been someone in Buffalo that I've heard your name spoken volumes, so you are important. And that memory that you described, right? You being out there, pictures with your family, being a part of Juneteenth, that's why we're talking about it today. Juneteenth is an important event. It's an important parade, and there are special parts about the Juneteenth and Buffalo event that are important. So the question I want to pose to us for this section of the interview is, how do we make Juneteenth exciting to young people? What was it about Juneteenth for you guys to make sure that when we're passing this torch, that we're passing it brightly, that it's still burning brightly the right way, right? Because there's a lot of things, the world is fast nowadays. There's a lot of things young people don't know that I think old generations take for granted because we were taught a lot more back then. And I don't want Juneteenth to become another thing that was just how it was or just a sign of the times. And so, like I said, the question we're asking is how to make sure Juneteenth continues the right way. And we're going to talk about some more concrete things, what Juneteenth committee is currently doing. But I want to just kind of have this open question first, just to think about and give our perspectives on.
I actually think that it still holds.
Bring the mic closer to you.
I think it still holds the excitement and the luster, even for the youth. I think that the integration of all of the arts, having the different music stages, having the local artists on the stage and performing, and really engaging the youth. I think in the engagement there's still excitement. There's still a buzz around Juneteenth. So I think it's just continuing the path that's already that we're already on.
Not to mention, I think it's important to make sure young people are included, their voices are heard, and we ask them, how to make Juneteenth live for them. I have a 12-year-old nephew who got a chance to walk in the march, and maybe because I'm like Auntie Mama, I was like, do you need me to walk with you? Do you need water? And he was walking with the Omega Mentoring Program. And so the brothers was like, sis, we got this. Mm-hmm. He can walk and he's good. He was like, I'm good, Auntie. I said, okay. And sure enough, I'm waiting with bated breath. Like, I know he would be okay, but it's just like it's a mile and a half. And, I was thinking all these crazy thoughts about how he might be tired. And when I finally saw him, he was all excited and he wanted to walk more. And he was like, can I do this next year? So I think making sure that young people's voices are incorporated in a major way, because the future is now. And I know when I was growing up, older people, as you call it. Now I only look 29, just so you know, even though I'm much older than that. But the older folks would like kind of try to guide us more heavily. And I think that nowadays we need to empower young people because they've seen so much, especially through social media and so forth. And so any way that we can empower them and ask them and uplift them, I think will keep them excited.
Say one thing. I know I said I wasn't going to talk. Can I use your mic real quick? Thank you.
Absolutely.
So I know, and I'm
Just
never.
introduce me.
Oh, I'm Austin's mom. That's my role for today. But when I think about the Juneteenth for myself, and as you talked about young people, I grew up in the suburbs. I didn't grow up in the city. So any opportunity like the Juneteenth, my family, like that was a big deal. Like I was like, yes, I'm gonna be around the Black people because I don't get to see them that much. I mean, I was in a school where my graduating class was 400. There were 2 African Americans. One didn't graduate. Why they do that? Make us look bad. But the point is, that wasn't my norm. So the Main Place Mall, once a week, go on the step, I got to see them. But the Juneteenth was the time my mom would trust us, to go there, drop you off with your friends. You had your Juneteenth outfit, I get to see Black guys because I didn't get to see that, who thought I was cute because I wasn't out there looking different. But I think that that's relevant now because there's so many parents who've moved their kids away from the city. So coming to this event where they have an opportunity to reconnect with that strong, rich legacy, I think that just because I'm not as connected as I should be, it doesn't seem like it resonates as much that we're trying to do that as much, that it's not an event. It's really a cultural experience that can really change the trajectory of their life. So I just wanted to share that other perspective for those parents who have moved out of the city, why this is still a great thing for them to be involved in. So thank you, Star, for even reaching out to have Austin be a part of that conversation.
Yes,
Absolutely.
actually, Austin, I'm putting you on the hot seat. We really want you to be involved.
Yeah, so I wanted to ask you because I've heard younger people tell me that some young people are saying like, yo, like echoing what you guys are saying, yo, I'm gonna be here every year. And some young people are like, dude, I don't go to Juneteenth at all. And so for you guys as a community, what are you guys seeing? Is there a big turnout of youth? Is there a dwindling population? Or what is currently going on with the different generations involved with Juneteenth? And how do we make sure that everybody is coming to the parade and understanding what it represents?
Right, definitely. I mean, there's so many young people that do show up for Juneteenth. I think the thing that we are working on is finding something for the young people to do where their voices can be heard. And that's why we're constantly letting it be known that we're looking for volunteers, young and wise volunteers. Come be a part of Juneteenth. Let us know what you want to see. Put your hands in it with us. We want to hear what you want to see at Juneteenth. It's your community too, so please join us. You can always go to our website at www.buffalojuneteenth.com. You can email us at buffalojuneteenth1976@gmail.com, or you can call or text 716-710-9298. Let us know what you want to see at Juneteenth. Give us your comments, your concerns, your opinions. What do you want to see at your Juneteenth? This isn't just about us. This is your Juneteenth. So please join. Everyone, please sign up to volunteer.
Absolutely. And I know even me, right, as a young person, I got to be reflective. I was supposed to be involved in Juneteenth last year. I was trying to figure out what was going on with me. I was going through some things, trying to figure myself out. And I believe the best thing that I could do for Juneteenth, for my birthday last year, I did an event. And so we had a panel and we had a bunch of different generations talking about mental health issues and just helping people feel represented and brought to the table. I think for Juneteenth, I could do something similar. We should definitely look at maybe having more open discussions, what you talked about, empowering the youth, giving us a chance for that. So make sure that if the parade is supposed to be something that represents, it's for us. If it's for us, and the best we can make it successful is to hear from us, right? And it's not just young people, it's everybody. There may be old generations who are falling away from the parade. And so I think just creating an environment where people can talk about what's important, what they want to see, why they go, because all of our memories, one thing we noted, were they were different. But memories were still, I want to be at Juneteenth. How can we continue to let people come and express what makes them come? I think that will be the best way to continue Juneteenth appearing in excellence. But like we said, Juneteenth is a month that's coming up, but a month we're currently in, not to kind of take a side detour, but a month we're currently in is Women's History Month, right? This is a important month. It should be an important month. Like I said in the beginning of the event, I think sometimes, just like with Black history, when we relegate something to a month, it becomes that month. And then for the other 11 months of the year, it's just a extra addition or a checkbox that we're trying to check off. Women's History Month, what does that mean for you guys? You have a bunch of people in here, women in Buffalo making a change to create a better city. What does Women's History Month represent to you?
For me, I sit at this, I think all Black women sit at this really weird intersection. We're dually minorities. We're Black, and then we're women. So to celebrate the accomplishments of any women is an opportunity to celebrate my potential. Because if there's this greatness that came before me and I am the strongest of the strongest of the strongest simply by being here, then the potential for me and the options for me are limitless. So it's an opportunity to pay homage and also to reflect on my abilities and me giving my gift back to the universe.
Yeah, and for me, cue Beyonce's song, "We Run the World, Girls." For me, as a woman, Women's History Month really, to me, is a chance to build on the ancestors and the legacies of strong women in the past, and then recognize that we stand on their shoulders. So we have to do great things, greater things, and carry out their legacy. Not forgetting the past, and also carrying it into the future and pulling others with us as we go forward.
Yeah, and same for me. To build off of what both of you beautiful ladies have said.
You can call us young.
I'll take it.
I like my wise.
Yes, beautiful ladies have said. Personally, it's a chance for me to think about everything that my ancestors, the women in my life have been through, my mother, my grandmother, my aunts, and how can I really honor what they have done, what I have seen and what I haven't seen? How can I build on that and set a legacy for my daughters? So, every event I go to, everything I do, everything I put myself into in the community, I'm bringing my daughters along with me so that they can see this is us and this is your duty. You have an obligation to be here, to do something, to lend your voice. So that's what it is for me.
And it is a goal, right? The goal is for us not to need a history month. This should be history. We were talking before y'all come to show me and DJ Rashad, shout out DJ Rashad holding us down in the booth. We were talking about Black business. It shouldn't be supporting Black business, just be business. Because it's just business. Why does it have to be? When it has to be special, that's when it's failing or it needs to bring awareness to it. But when it's normal, it just is. It's just history. It's just business. Can you guys we talked about inspiring and how this represents something bigger than yourselves. We are all of you guys here are entrepreneurs in your own right, pursuing something in a field. Business is not a place where women are always represented the same. Can you talk on that battle of feeling like you belong and really feeling like you, instead of feeling like you're always chasing that validation, can you talk about that battle of feeling like I'm here and I'm supposed to be here as a woman in business?
I think it's walking into the door, stepping outside of having any form of imposter syndrome, understanding that no one in that room has the right to tell me that my steps weren't ordered for me to be in that room. When I come to the table, I'm bringing the table, the place settings, the silverware, the linens, and an extra table. And I show up authentically and as myself every single time. And either you're going to align with it or you're not. And having that understanding and that gift of discernment allows me to be able to navigate through the journey that is entrepreneurship and the world that is business.
Before we jump to the next one, we did have a caller. Caller, you are on the air. Good morning.
Hello?
Hello.
Hello, sir. Hello, ladies. I have a question about Black History Month, but still Women's History Month. I used to be in the Air Force for 12 years, and I never knew, and we don't celebrate the achievement of this Black woman, aviator Bessie Coleman. Because I was out in Columbus, Ohio, heading to, back then it was Chanute Air Force Base, had Bessie Coleman on a hangar out in this town in the city I don't know who it was until I found out like 8 years after I got out of the service in the 90s. And she was the first civilian aviator that attained an international flight license. She went to air school before Amelia Earhart, but all you can hear about is Amelia Earhart.
And thank you, brother, for mentioning Bessie Coleman, because that's one of my sheroes. I have been taking flying lessons for several years. And in October, I traveled to Paris, and I was able to go to Le Quatois, which is where she got her pilot's license, because she couldn't get a license as a Black woman in the United States. So she literally had to go to Paris to get her license. And I think her, Madam C.J. Walker, and many other incredible women, Mary B. Talbert here in Buffalo, many incredible women, like you said, have not got their just due. So we don't hear about them enough. And unless we do our own research, we don't know about them. So thank you for uplifting her, because she's one of my sheroes, along with Harriet Tubman.
One more thing here. I don't know why we don't make it a bigger thing. She flew before Tuskegee Airmen. She flew actually as a woman, as an African woman, as a human being, before Neil Armstrong. Before Neil Armstrong was a child, she flew. And you figure that we would pay more attention to something like this.
And so what you're saying, I think this is kind of the question that I'm asking. If you don't do that additional research, representation, feeling like you belong, is a lot of times someone else has done this before. And that's why I'm asking. And I want to, I'm going to hop you off the air, but thank you so much for your statement. It definitely appreciate it, and never hesitate to call in. Want to hear you on some more shows, calling in. Have a good rest of your day. Thank you. But it's this imposter syndrome, right? We're in these rooms where it's not that Black women or women haven't been successful in business, haven't changed the world, but when we don't talk about it, we don't know. And so thank you for sharing. If you want to continue talking about what is this experience of going into business where you know that you guys have been in business, but that journey or that path may not be as clear, and that's where that imposter syndrome I think you were talking about.
Yeah, and see, for me, I was raised to be able to do whatever I wanted to do. My mother never hesitated. When I said I wanted to travel, she let me travel. I wanted to do any of the crazy ideas that I had, she let me. So I have always believed I could do anything. I've always shot for the stars, and if I land on the moon, so be it. And I think the thing that I have been challenged by is when I walk into whatever room and I tell them this is what I charge, and they try to talk me down or tell me, you know, why does it cost this much to do this? And the first thing I want to say is, like, if you can do it, then please go ahead. But I know what I bring to the table. I know who I'm bringing to the table. And when I get involved, it's going to excel and exceed beyond your expectations. So that's how I walk into rooms. And have I gotten those? Yes. And guess what? I learned from my dear cousin. He said, everybody is not your client. And recognizing that everybody is not my client, I recognize that if my prices are too high, or you don't want to pay me, or you think I should do it for free, or you want me to just help you out, then
or pick your brain,
or pick my brain. Thank you.
That's my
thank you, awesome John. Then you need to wait until you're ready to experience this level of excellence, and that's how I proceed.
Absolutely.
I say for me, it's for me, it's the same thing. It's knowing who I come from. Shout out to Minnie James. It's knowing the village that helped create me or created me, and knowing who I'm doing it for. That's pretty much my thing. And considering the fact that I need to continue to surround myself with beautiful women that are doing. Clean way to say this, doing what they were put here to do, and some. That completely inspires me. So that's what makes it easy for me. And also, I should say, giving myself grace.
Absolutely.
I think that's a big thing that people look at women and, you know, they don't do that enough. So giving myself grace. If I can't come through, you know, I can give the job to someone else that can come through, you know what I mean? And just still knowing that it doesn't take away from me, my talents, my gifts. So, yeah.
I want to add to that having mentors and Black women who have poured into me is unmatched, because there have been times when I have had opportunities, and thank God for Black women in the room who could say, let's give that sister a chance. Let's invest in her because we're going to pay for this and it's going to cost X. But it's been other, and not just Black women, but other allies too, who have said, give the sister a chance and let's see what happens.
Same, absolutely.
You read my mind. I was gonna go to, when we talk about mentorship, what is your advice or the things that you could help young ladies listening say that if they do feel lost, they do need a mentor or need direction? What would be your advice for that? Because like you said, having a mentor is so important. Even for me, not as a woman, as a Black boy in business, it felt like everybody thought I was just something good to put on the docket. We got minorities here too. We got them too. But when I finally met a Jim Anderson who was like, yo, I know what they're going to try to do. I've already heard you. I've heard we'll see what we can do with the payment in the future. I've heard those conversations. Let's get you at the table now. It was different. I was like, oh, I don't have to cut my hair to make it. Like, it really showed me something different. That mentorship was so important. So on that women's side, like you talked about, you had mentors, but how important is it, or not how important, but how do you go about finding the right mentors to get you through those tough parts of your journey?
I think, okay, well, we'll start off with mentors. I have several. Excuse me. I don't put all the assignment of me onto one person. So I have several mentors. I have several wonderful individuals, Black women and allies alike, who create my tribe. And it's actually really a matter of you guys finding one another. I have sat in rooms with, Faustenia and been able to pick up the phone and call her and say, hey, I have a couple questions. And that's mentorship. I've been able to, we're sitting here in WUFO. I've been able to have a conversation with Sheila and have her answer it. That's mentorship. It's really knowing who you can go to and ask questions and know that you're going to receive an answer from. And once you begin to develop those relationships, they become natural and organic. You have now secured a mentor-mentee relationship with someone. They're reciprocal and they're beneficial, because just as I've learned from my mentors have also indicated that they've learned from me.
And if I can say it this way, when you ask for help, I have never had anyone say no. I have gone up to people I didn't even know, and because I saw something in them that I wanted for myself, I've gone to them and they have been like, yes, sis, how can I help you? They've been honored to do it. And if I follow through, that's the key. If I follow up with them, I find that they open up the world to you to help you. So I think that's the key.
I'd say for me, I know nowadays cancel culture is big. And a lot of people feel like they don't have someone. You do. Whether someone is related to you or not, the village is there. Be open to the criticism. And I'm so thankful for it, for who I've found in our Black Buffalo woman, beautiful community, from Faustenia, who has gave me business advice, prayed for me, at a time when I needed it the most, to Shantelle Patton, who I've met, and what she does in the Black business community is amazing, and how inspiring it is, whether I am talking to her, whether I'm seeing her in person, whether I see something that she posts and a kind word that she gives to other Black women and business owners, period. It's amazing. To Alnisa Banks and what she does for the Challenger and the words that she has put out and how inspiring that is. Who else for me? Sandy White.
Yes, Sandy.
Oh my goodness. Joanne Peters in the Juneteenth. Deatra Amber, what she does, and the creative genius that she puts on so many Black events. There's so many in our community. The village is there. You have to be open to it. I don't like this cancel culture that we have nowadays, especially in our community. We don't need it. The village is there. Be open to it. You are amazing. Talk to someone, please.
Our arms
and be
are
open to
open.
listen.
I gotta cut. We're about to go to a commercial break. If you want to join the conversation, you can join in at 716-837-1112. We'll come back and we'll let you finish up on what you were saying. For the next half of the interview, we'll be talking a lot more on business in Buffalo, getting a lot more in depth on you guys and your personal journey. So make sure to stay tuned. We'll see you guys shortly. Thank you.
It's still live on the live.
If there's any specific points you guys want to hit on, I know sometimes I can jump around. We'll definitely we can talk about them right now. So we go into that second half. We'll make sure that we don't leave anything out, like important events, important dates. My plan for the second half, I know we'll probably get some more calls about Juneteenth, and people kind of get to that later, and we'll have more shows to talk about it. But I want to more talk about you. I know I heard about that brown paper bag and some things that you were doing.
Isn't that brown bag? Just that brown bag.
That brown bag.
I've heard
Look, we'll leave it on the table.
You can put it up.
I just want to give you guys a chance to talk about your own personal things as well, not leave that out. But like I said, those important dates, important contact information, you get that to her. She'll have that running on the ticker on the stream. And yeah, that was my kind of plan for the rest of the interview. But again, thank you for you guys coming. I definitely appreciate it. I think this is an important interview. I also want to touch on self-care, but we might do that last and see if we get to it. So I think that's important as well. We talk about work, but as women, especially, you guys get home from work and you guys clock into a different job sometimes. And so understanding to take care of yourselves, I think for a young son seeing his mom, there's got to be some other women out here who need to hear that as well, because I can't be the only one like, Mom, guys, chill out a little bit, like just go to
my job. But it is.
I spend a good chunk of the conversations with my daughter going, who is the parent?
Thank you.
Here. I get ready to leave. She's like, turn your location on, be home by 1. Oh, wait, you're with a trusted individual, 1:30.
Star, can you put your full name on here so I spell it correct?
Mm-hmm.
Like, first off, this trusted individual is your stepfather. What do you mean, like a trusted individual?
Y'all have me getting emotional.
I know. I when you start saying that, I'm like, oh, wait a minute.
But that's part of why I write this directory, because in there I'm able to solidify a little piece of Black history in it. Like Tiffany Gaines has a page in here. She's the first Black young woman curator over at Birchfield Penny. Like,
Oh my gosh, yeah, she's amazing.
she's everything. Itina is now our second poet laureate. Jillian.
Thank you. Welcome back. We are still joined in the conversation, Jim Anderson Show, by 3 guests. In the first half, we were talking about Juneteenth and some Women's History Month, but we have women making history here today, right? Like you said, history is now, and I don't want to be amiss and not get a little more in depth. We talked about how important it is to see someone who's done it. And you guys are doing it. There's a lot of young women, Black women in Buffalo, who may just need to hear you guys doing it to say that I can do it too. So to get into that, I want to start business in Buffalo. Go a little bit just into your story, what you do currently in Buffalo, what's your current, like I said, I know you guys are either affiliated with businesses or you guys are running businesses, having things that are important to you, products and services that people need to hear about. Talk a little bit about what you do in Buffalo, your business, and we'll go from there as it kind of develops.
Okay, so I am the founder, CEO of That Brown Bag Minority Business Directory. In short, Black business is my business. So I took an opportunity to amplify Black excellence one business at a time. So what I've done is I've compiled a very comprehensive list of all the Black-owned businesses, whether home-based, online, brick and mortar, and it started out just in Buffalo. It's now grown to encompass all of Western New York, Central New York, and a little bit of Toronto. It was kind of logical. We spend a lot of time in TO since they let us back in. Shout out to Drake. Thank you. He has something to do with getting the border back open. But so what I've been doing is really just providing a platform so that these business owners can be seen. 1 in 5 businesses, Black owned, closes within the first 5 years due to one of 2 reasons. It's either going to be lack of capital or lack of exposure. Well, I'm here to at least bridge the gap on the exposure part. So what has come out of the development of the directory is a direct connection. I like to say, people say I'm the plug. No, I'm not. I'm the outlet. You have to connect to me to get to the power. So When I get RFPs, requests for proposals, they'll come down the pipeline from organizations, and I'm able to, in turn, hand them a list of Black excellence. These are the businesses that are going to be open on time. They're going to fulfill their order. They're going to respond to customer inquiries. So when I hand over this director of this listing to organizations, we're talking about, Olmsted Parks and things of that nature. We get them from the city of Buffalo here and there. I know that I'm going to be able to hand over this representation, this subsection of Black Buffalo that is so beautiful that we can no longer be denied.
That was I got nothing to add to that one. That I will definitely be getting back to that, because later we'll be talking about cooperation in Buffalo. How do we get us to work together? So we'll definitely keep that one going. But wow, not hard follow, but I don't doubt you have something great yourself. If you want to follow as well, Miss
Faustenia.
I'm sorry.
Some people call me Tina for short. But I own the Monarch of Infinite Possibilities. And like Shantelle said, when I first started my business, which was back in 2006, I didn't really know how to run a business. And at that time, I was called Infinite Possibilities. And my focus was on organizing events and raising awareness. And I really started because I was working for an organization and they wanted me to do a major project. So I said, I'm going to quit, hire me back as a consultant, and they asked me to stay on and do the work. Well, anyway, I organized a pastoral health and environmental conference because I was working in the environmental space, and what I realized is that the church was not involved enough. So fast forward, and this is where I'm going to try not to be emotional, but I lost my sister in the middle of the pandemic. And my sister was the kind of person that was like, why aren't you doing your own business? Why aren't you making an impact like you talk about and encourage people? She was like, do it here in Buffalo. You're from here. And I had all these different reasons why I thought I shouldn't. But to be honest with you, I was obedient to God. And God spoke into my spirit to get my business going. And I tell you, once I really got going, and did exactly what I do, which is raise awareness about the environment and the arts, my world has opened up. And so what I really do is help diversify audiences, because I don't know how many times we've heard in our different areas where we travel, where people like, we don't know how to find people who look like the BIPOC community, the Black, Brown, and Indigenous community. And I'm thinking, where have you gone? I know a whole bunch of people that could take advantage of that opportunity.
Everywhere I look, I see Black people.
Exactly. But what I found is if you're not connected, then you don't know. Right. And so I refer to myself as a connector, a conductor, and a consultant. And I have helped with public engagement, building awareness campaigns, organizing events or being a part of different events, and they all center around the environment. So I've worked with environmental justice groups like We Act out of Harlem, New York. I'm currently on an EPA project with Drexel University, Mount Sinai Hospital, and we're really trying to engage the state and young people in particular to hear, what do you see missing in your community? I've been blessed to work with the Western New York Clean Energy Hub, and this hub is going to, for the next 5 years, is going to do amazing work. It's led by a coalition of people, and our focus is to talk about clean energy. So what I bring to that project is working with Black pastors in the city on the east side and trying to get them ready, aware, and knowledgeable about what is clean energy. I mean, Mother Earth is speaking to us. Mm-hmm. And jokingly, I say, she's got to be a Black woman, Mother Earth, because we take it and take it and take it until finally we're like, that's it, I'm done. And that's why we have orange air this year, right? Mother Earth said, if you're not going to stop, I'm going to help you. And so I like to see myself as connecting people, connecting the community, especially the BIPOC community and the faith-based community, to environmental issues like clean energy, climate change, and so forth.
I will say this, thank you for sharing that story. I am really sorry for your loss, because your sister sounds like the type of person I think that everybody needs to be in Buffalo. I think subconsciously in our mind, we just think that one person's gonna come down and just make Buffalo just change it and fix every issue that we have. But what it is it's the intentional and passion-led effort of individual people saying, this is what I can bring to the table, this is what I can contribute, and we all can bring what we can contribute to the table. I don't have all the answers. I know I don't have all the answers, but why do I teach people to speak? Because I know if I can teach someone who does have the answers to come to the table, that's how change is made. And so that mindset is what everybody needs. And I think that you're doing Her Legacy great because you are willing to bring it to the table. So thank you.
Thank you. And that's the big thing, is collaborating. That's what I learned. That as a Black woman, we try to do it all ourselves, honey. And I have got a PhD in doing it all myself until I started collaborating with partners and realizing if I do stay in my lane and do my part for the environment, then someone else comes along like Star and does the marketing and the PR. And then you have Shantelle come along and she's going to connect you to every business. And your mom, where she just uplifts women, especially women in the faith community. Like, all of us have a role. There's enough at the table for everyone. And like my other shero, Shirley Chisholm, I'll bring the folding chair if you don't put me at the table. So collaboration is huge.
And we're going to touch back on that as well. Not last, but definitely not least, Ms. Starr, you want to tell us a little about yourself and your business in Buffalo?
Yes, of course. So I am a PR and marketing specialist, and today I am speaking on behalf of Juneteenth of Buffalo Festival. I'm just here. I want to encourage everyone to please sign up to volunteer and lend your voice. I know so many times we go to events or we go to businesses and we have opinions or critiques on the business afterwards. And I'm just here to say, please let us know what you would like to see at Juneteenth Buffalo. We would love if you would be a part, but if you just wanted to lend your voice, give some criticisms or some advice, we are definitely open to hearing it because this is for all of us. And again, we are looking for young people to please be a part. We want you to be a part. Your voice matters, and we want to hear from you what you want to see at your festival.
Can I ask something?
Yeah.
Oh, can I? I know I keep taking your mic. This is so funny. This is what I read. No. So that's funny because you said, this is what I think Latasha does. So I don't know if you remember me, but I used to work at the Women's Business Center. I was one of the advisors there, and I was in the 3rd level program. So they have the Grow program, they had different names than what they have right now, but I was at the 3rd level where it was like a business accelerator where people went from solopreneurs into building out their teams strategically. And I was the advisor there. Unfortunately, one woman of color made it to that program in my time of being there for 3 years. One. I don't know why that would be. I think it's because by that time you should be in business full time, but they weren't structurally built correctly. So what I've been doing over the last year is saying, well, how can I help us be prepared for the $1 million contract? Because it's more than just saying I can partner. It's saying I'm structured correctly. I've accelerated my business in the way that I can take care of myself. I'm making enough money because I know that when you tell me you don't have it, I say, thank you. And a lot of times people don't know me because I know this is going to sound real terrible. I always say the people I'm trying to connect to are the check signers or the check approvers of the check that's going to be signed, because that's where I'm so grateful to God to be at that place in my business. So I can take time out to support my son to be the best, but he sees a version of business that he doesn't always see when he talks to people who look like us. And so that is my actual work that I do is a business accelerator to help people structurally prepare themselves for, I want to grow my team. I want to grow my revenue, but I don't want to lose a sight of my purpose or my connection to my friends and my family because I'm so busy trying to fill the funnel. And so I just want to say to you all, I am like inspired by that because intentionally, I started and said I wanted to help women of color. And then I'm like, I don't know. Because every time I say my price for my coaching program, they're like, I'll pay that person that because I see her on social media. I spend that money and then they come back to me when they already are broke now. And now I got to have the conversation of, well, Latasha, you only have so much pro bono hours, but you really want to help somebody because you see that there's no respect in person. Why only one made it to that program in 3 years while I was there? And then I walked away because I said I wanted to bring the faith piece into it because so many of us talk about, I left because God said so. I knew I left because God said so because of what he did for my business financially, my philanthropically, what it did for my family in pieces. And it was a testimony to the believer and the unbeliever that when you say God told me to leave and don't hustle and obey me, and the money came and I'm the only product, but yet I'm cashing checks that are people's salaries, and I'm thankful for that. I want more people to have those experiences. And so that's what I actually do. I'm a business accelerator. I help people create a one-page plan, a blueprint, so how you can grow your business without losing the things that are so important to you. So that's what I actually do. And today I'm here as momager doing the stuff behind the scenes. But I just wanted that to be clear about what I actually do.
When I see women in business and people, that's my inspiration. So I'm seeing, I'm like, no, I know that is possible because I'm seeing it. I've seen it for many years. And what you said when Key was growing your team, you talked about collaboration. And that's what I really want to focus on. Because there is, for me, and my belief, this mindset in Buffalo that you just got to do it on your own. You got to figure every piece out. And we all have our individual skills. You guys are all networking. You guys said you guys connecting in Buffalo. You know many women are doing great things. How do you connect? How do you network? What are the keys to getting people to know you in Buffalo? And why is that so important? Because I think for me, as a young person in business, when I first got into it, I was like, man, I need to get videos and I need to get business cards and a website. And then I found I had nobody to give the stuff to. And I didn't even know how to get it. I didn't know how to maneuver. So this is really, like I said, going back to that business in Buffalo, this is a selfish question. How do you network in Buffalo? You guys tell me as people who do it successfully, and why is it so important to you?
For me, and I think anybody in the consulting realm, we've built businesses purely off of networking. Right. It is ingratiating yourself into the community that you wish to serve and that you wish to, of course, be compensated for serving. So for me, it was going door to door, business to business. Who owns this business? Let me talk to you. What are your pains? What are your gains? Going to every networking event I could find, vendor fairs, and going table to table and really establishing a line of trust. I am not here to exploit your business. I'm here to amplify your business. And in doing so, and again, going back to even where I started at the top of this interview, is showing up authentically as myself every single time. People know Shantelle is going to show up and be her. She's going to hug you. She's going to bring you in. She's going to ask you how you are. And then we can move on to talking about the business things. It's really making sure that you are of value, then you become valuable. So I offer a value to the people that I engage with. And just like Faustenia said, I'm an asset to anything I'm involved in. Anything I touch is going to flourish. That's what's instilled in me. So it's really making sure that I'm as genuine as possible when I'm entering into rooms and spaces. And people who resonate with that are the people who become part of the tribe.
I love that. For me, I'm really relationship building focused. So I know that in traditional networking, people walk in the room, they're pressing the flesh, they got their card. So I'm used to, in my work history, working for powerful, important people like congressmen and so forth in my former life before I came back home. And what I watched is all these people pressing the flesh, and it was just to get something. So I think from my church uproots, because I'm a church girl at heart, grew up Pentecostal, and I really believe in relationships and organic connections. So for me, the work that I'm doing and the people I connect to authentically, it's because of the work, and we're going to do something together. Now, yes, do I want to meet the head of X, Y, and Z? Absolutely. But my approach is really more about connecting authentically. And what does that look like? Because we are making something happen, and we are, expanding the community or making the community better. So that's how I move, live, and breathe.
See, I'm going to give her a plug. She ain't going to want my shameless plug today. But what I love about this one right here is, and she's not selfish.
Not at all.
She's not selfish. Because I can tell you 10 people that would have got an invite and would have took it for themselves. And immediately she said, can I bring some sisters with me? That's her number one. And when she wanted to work out, she didn't say, I'm going to work out. She said, you know what? Let me bring a tribe of people one can do yoga, one can do songs, whatever we can do to encourage. And I think that's why your business is blown, because that's what the scripture says, given it shall be given back to you. Right. Yeah. And so you are one of the most generous. Because when I first met you, I'm gonna be honest, I was like, I don't know where this is going, but what I do know is her heart of I'm not gonna go alone. We all gonna win together. And you could see it just from today. Sankofa. You could see it today. And that's why you have success, because when you give and you know there's room for everybody, if you become a millionaire, who are you going to celebrate with? Well, all the people that you brought with you. So that's why you're being blessed, because you are a giver. Now she's in tears. I didn't mean to put you in tears, but that's real talk.
But these are the words that I think sometimes, and I wanted to end on this. My last one was inspiring women. These are the words that we expect everybody to just know, but we never say. Like, these are what needs to be said. These are the conversations that we assume that we assume too much. We assume everybody would know that it's Women's History. No, we need to talk about it. We assume everybody's going to know how to cooperate. No, we need to talk about cooperation in Buffalo, because these are the conversations that the longer we push off, we're not. These are needed to get where we want to get to. Right. These are conversations that need to be had. And so these are things that, yes, we need to lift up people, because you, the same way you need an inspiration, you are an inspiration to somebody else. You are an inspiration to somebody else. You are an inspiration to somebody else. And we need people to be inspired, because just like when people be successful today, if we're only successful today, but not successful tomorrow, that's useless. And who's tomorrow is people like me. It's the youth. And seeing people, like I said, my mother, and people like you guys' stories are inspiring me. People like are inspiring me to be greater. So it's important that these things are being said, I feel, because these conversations that we miss are the conversations that are preventing us from getting where we need to get to. I know that was a but
amen. Just pass it.
We're gonna finish. I want to let you guys get a chance to answer that question though. Networking in Buffalo, but I want to leave on self-care. I think, right, it's Women's History Month, right? Women sometimes leave a job, clock into another job at home, but even as a man, self-care is important. So I want us to answer this last question, but if you guys want to jump to self-care, we can do that as well. But networking in Buffalo, is there any advice you guys could give to young people in Buffalo, or people in Buffalo in general, who need to be connected, and why that's important to you?
Of course, for me, it's just show up. Show up as your authentic self. The people will come, the opportunities will come. I think a lot of times, you get people that in front of the camera, they are one person, and then off the camera, they're another, and people can sense that. So show up as your authentic self. You're going to find your own people. They're going to come. So show up. Show up, network, and like you said, bring people along. It's going to come.
Self-care. That's what I want to leave out on. And I want to give us a chance before we get to that, because I know it's probably going to take us out. Important dates, important contact information, important things that you want listeners to know. I know Juneteenth. If you're listening and you're telling yourself already, man, I'm not getting the Juneteenth information, get the Challenger. It's in there. Mm-hmm. All right. Open the Challenger, go to page 15 and sign up to volunteer, because it's important. But for the rest of us, there any important dates that we want to say, or if we want to give this?
So actually tonight, I'm doing a Women's History Month roundtable book discussion with Second Chapter Bookstore. Shout out to Stephanie Pete. So we're talking about in women's history, Black woman-owned bookstore here in the city of Buffalo. We are discussing how we get free, Black feminism. So that is definitely on the agenda for tonight, starting at 5 p.m. But I wanted is at the Buffalo History Museum. But I wanted to, in the efforts of actually combining, talking about self-care, you have to be whole, mind, body, spirit. And sometimes we as a culture, and then especially as Black women, we tend to put ourselves last. And it's learning now that it's okay and it is not selfish. Self-care is, in fact, and it's one of the most revolutionary acts that you can perform. And that's definitely a quote that I hold with me. And when you take care of yourself, then you are able to take care of your children. I'm able to take care of my man. I'm able to go out here and advocate every day because I've taken a moment to refill my own cup. And one thing for Black men is in July, because Black men, I don't think, engage in self-care at all. A haircut, hanging out in the barbershop or in your boy's basement, that's your safe space. So in July, I'll actually be doing my second iteration of I Love You, Black Man. It is something that I hold very near and dear. I aim to create a safe space where I'm literally the only woman in the room. I'm there to create a safe space. I moderate, I step forward, I ask the question, I step back. And it is conversations. We have Brother Mark Talley, who will be on my panel. We have Brother Sherman Middlebrooks Webb. We also have Rasheen Powell. So we've got mental health providers. We're going to talk fatherhood, relationships, grief, finances, and just all things that most of the time you're told, oh, you're going to be all right. So that's coming up July 13th of this year. But just making sure that self-care is more than just getting your hair done. It's more than just getting your nails done. It's in your diet, what you digest in your mind, what you hear in your music, who you surround yourself with. All of those are important components of self-care. Take care of yourself, mind, body, spirit, and the universe will take care of you in return.
And so for the Monarch, there's a lot happening. So I'll start with tonight. There is a focus group. So for the Western New York Clean Energy Hub, we're trying to figure out what are the barriers to people being involved in clean energy. So I was asked to organize a focus group. And if you know about the Monarch, we exceed. So we have 6 focus groups. And actually,
they're phenomenal.
Shantelle participated last week. This week, all of them have filled up so fast. And that's happening tonight. More to come. So that's at Brothers. It's already filled up. Okay, but I just wanted you to know that focus group opportunities will be out there through the Monarch, a lot of them. In addition to that, this past weekend, we celebrated the launch of Clean Mobility Buffalo. And we have 25 neighborhood leaders plus a plethora of partners like Go Bike and Eastside Bike Club and our partners at Lisk and Heart of the City and Open Buffalo and all of these groups sponsored by NYSERDA. And we had over 300 people from the community come out.
It was so wonderful. That's a project Faustenia and I have been blessed to work on together. So we're talking collaboration right here.
Absolutely. And coming up in April 17th, there's going to be a town hall meeting and more to come. So look out on the Clean Mobility Buffalo Facebook page and so
Instagram
forth.
As well.
And yes. Instagram as well. And then I sit on an EPA grant where we're talking to youth on the statewide. So I'm looking for a couple more young people.
We're about to close.
And they're telling me about to close. So Earth Day is April 22nd. And look for all of the exciting things around Earth Day. Okay. And I'll stop there.
Thank you.
I know we're closing out. I just want to make it fair. I'm going to say this as we're closing out because this is the wrap up. And then I'm going to let you just say the important dates for application for Juneteenth. It was a pleasure having you guys. Hour goes fast. We need you guys back. It's important. Everything you guys are saying is needed in Buffalo. So definitely we'll try to get you guys back on the show. In the future, thank you again, Jim, for letting us have the station in the future. Make sure to join in every Monday from 11 to 12. Shout out DJ Shaw holding us down in the booth. Juneteenth, important dates as we're closing out, and then we're going to leave.
Yes, if in case I get cut off, Juneteenth, please go to our social media pages at Juneteenth of Buffalo Festival on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, anything. Also, June 7th, we have our flag raising where we are encouraging the community to put out your red, black, and green flags in support of Juneteenth month. We will also do a flag raising at City Hall June 8th to the 14th will be our Sankofa Days, where we will have citywide events celebrating Black culture and community. June 15th to 16th is the Juneteenth Festival. Of course, please come out. And then June 21st, we end off with our Ma'afa ceremony, where we're doing a tribute ceremony honoring our ancestors in song, dance, and other traditional forms.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Have a good week, Buffalo. We'll be back. Enjoy yourselves.
Y'all look at DJ Chat. Love
You
y'all.